Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is Life with Norma, and today we're gonna cook a turkey for Thanksgiving. I'm not saying that this is the only way because most people do actually bake it in the oven. I pressure cook it, which is completely different. I prefer it that way because that way it has flavor all the way through. It's never dry, it's nice and moist. Okay, here is what you're gonna need. You're gonna need a pressure cooker. I always do mine in a pressure canner, but that's not completely safe, especially if you've never used one. I would strongly suggest you use a pressure cooker instead. You're gonna need a pressure cooker, your turkey of course, salt, pepper, garlic salt, and paprika, and vegetable oil because I put oil in the pressure cooker. So just about this much in there that it's gonna fry up nicely, like just brown it. It's not gonna cook it, it's just gonna brown it. Then after we brown it, we're gonna pressure cook it. Okay, so those are the ingredients that you're gonna need, but first I'm gonna show you how I cut it up. Unlike most people that keep the turkey whole to put their stuffing in, however they do it, I've never done it myself, but they bake it in the oven. So they can put it in the oven, complete whole. I cut it up all into pieces when it's raw, so you can brown it and then cook it. First I'm gonna cut off the legs, okay? So I can cut here. So this way I can actually break it. All right, there you go. Just gonna try and get this off. There you go. So now we have two pieces. It's gonna be easier to cut the rest. Next we're gonna cut off the wings. That. And once you cut in, you can just break it and then you can go in from the bottom and cut it off. If it's not far enough, you just kind of twist it. There, you heard how it just came apart, just like that. Then what I like to do, because this is a big piece, so it's easier to fry, and after when you take it out, to cut it in a couple more pieces. Wherever there's a joint, break it off, cut it, just like that. It's pretty easy. And this is a good way of fooling people that say don't like wings. This way it doesn't look like a wing. There you go. So you actually have three pieces, almost looks like a drumstick. See, you could fool a person. And do the other side. Just like that. See, pretty easy. Do the same thing. Another thing you can do, if it's too hard to just break like this, you could go on the counter and do it this way. Just kind of bend it over the side. Because the bigger the turkey, the harder it will be. Okay, so this is pretty big breast. So what we're gonna do, we cut it into pieces for the frying process as well. Just so you know, I didn't show you that part of it, but I did wash the counter really clean with soap because you don't want anything on there. I'm just cutting randomly. If you wanted nicer pieces of filet, you could, but I did just do it randomly because I don't really care. To me, what's as important is the taste, not the looks. Okay, so now what you could do, you could actually use this and make a soup. There's lots of meat on there, and you could use this as a broth. Take the meat off after it is boiled to put it in your soup. However, what I'm gonna do today, I'm just gonna throw it in like this, fry it as well. And because some people like that, the taste and everything, the flavor of the bones is in there as well. So we're gonna fry this today, but you could use it to make a broth out of it. Okay, moving on. Our next piece. Okay, now we'll cut off this leg. I'll cut in here as well. And here I'm gonna use the edge of the counter, just like that. Pretty easy. It's amazing how it comes apart. A little tricky at first. Once you've done it a couple times, then it just comes kind of natural. So now this part, remember when I broke the breast off before, this broke off. Normally it wouldn't, but that's okay. It's not a big deal since all pieces are cut up anyway. So we're just gonna cut it here. We have one extra piece. There you go. Just gonna fry it up like this. And here's this part. Since there's not a whole lot of meat, that we're just gonna throw it in all together. Or again, you could make a broth out of this. So now the legs here, same thing, because they're pretty big. I am gonna use a counter again. I'm going to tell you why I'm using the counter, because I don't have enough muscle. I'm not strong enough. So I have to use a counter. Turkeys are pretty big. So that's why. Just cut it in first. Break. And all ready. Okay, I'm just spreading it out here so I can spice it up. That makes it a little easier. In the meantime, I'm just going to wash my hands so I don't have it all over my containers. Okay, so I'm back. I just washed my hands. Not slimy anymore. Anyway, so here's salt. We're going to put salt on it first, all over. Now we're doing garlic salt. Put as much on as you like, whatever you prefer. I just kind of put an even coat everywhere. Next we're going to do pepper, same idea. Just to give it a little extra flavor. And depending on your taste, if you want more flavor, you just add on more. That's as simple as that. Next thing, we're gonna use some paprika. I just have it in a normal container, but paprika gives it a really good taste. However, you could go overboard and it would be too spicy for some people and just perfect for others. So again, whatever your tastes are. Now that this is all done, I'm just going to flip it all over. So we flipped it all over, and now we're going to do the same thing again. Salt, garlic salt, pepper, and paprika. All right, now we're going to just put it all back here in the bowl. Okay, off we go. Okay, so here's the oil. Just waiting for the turkey to come in. And I prefer to do like the smaller pieces first because, like, for example, this piece, it's a big one. I'm going to do that last so that I don't have to take it out. It's going to stay in there already. Then I can dump the smaller pieces just on top of it to pressure cook. Now we're just going to fry it then until it's kind of light brown, and then I'm going to flip it around, fry from the other side, and that's how we're going to do the whole turkey, but we'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so we let it fry for, I don't know, like a couple minutes. Now we're going to check and see if it's brown enough. Oh yeah, that's really nice. Look at that piece. That turned out really nice and brown. Gonna just let it fry again. Do the same thing from the other side. Then we're gonna continue with the other. Okay, so now we're gonna check and see if it's brown enough. And yep, we're just gonna go with that. Nice and brown. But remember, if you want it brown, the darker, you can always just fry it a bit longer. Once all the pieces are brown, we're going to dump it back in and pressure cook it so it gets really tender and juicy. Okay, there's our first pieces. Now we're just going to keep on doing the same thing. Okay, so now all our pieces are fried, as you can see here. But remember, they're just darkened a little bit, pre-fried. They're not cooked. That's why you see all the red raw meat there. Here are the final big pieces. Okay. So what we're gonna do now is take it off of there. It's really loud because it's frying and crackling. Okay. We're gonna dump all these pieces in here. Remember, we did season all the pieces, but all the water kind of takes it away, and we just want it to kind of boil in, like just that the flavor really gets all the way to the bone. For this amount, I'm using a handful, so it would be over a tablespoon, but a handful. Just kind of sprinkle it over. Now we're going to dump in the water. Just going to dump it in. We want it. I'm going to show you once the water is in. About this, not all the meat has to be underwater, but you want to have enough that it doesn't burn. I use this, after we pressure cook it, I use the juice to put in my stuffing to give it extra flavor, and also use it for my gravy. We are going to put the lid on. We're going to pressure cook it. Let it go up to the 15 pounds. Turn off the oven. Let all the pressure come down, and then you can open it and just cook it a little bit in an open pot, which we're going to show you later. Okay, so we're back at our turkey. As you can see, it is at the 15 pounds. It's a touch over, but that's okay. It's not that crucial. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take it off of the heat, and then we're just going to naturally let the pressure go down. Don't ever attempt to open it when it's full of pressure, because you could really burn yourself. So we're going to naturally let it go down, and then we're going to open it. We're going to show you what's inside. Okay, we're back. The pressure, as you can see, very important, is at 0 now. There's no pressure left. So I'm going to take this off. And before we go any further, I would just want to explain something. If you were to do it in a normal pressure cooker, I'm going to show you here how it fits nicely in the sink. This. Then you just position it like this. You can open the cold water. This way, it releases the pressure much faster, so you don't have to wait so long. But don't ever open it before the pressure would be completely gone, so that this is completely, so then you could open it. And also, I want to mention one thing. If you use a pressure cooker, you would wait till it has pressure and wait about 20 minutes. Let it pressure cook for 20 minutes, and then you could take the pressure off. But since we did it in a canning pressure cooker, it's completely different, but pressure's all off. So we're going to open it and show you. And always open it this way away from you, so you're not going to get burned. And this is what it looks like. Now we're going to just bring it back here to the element and just let it cook like on, I would say on 6. Just so you know that whoever doesn't own a big canner pressure cooker, it's okay. A small pressure cooker, it's the same process, but remember, it is 20 minutes pressure cook because you don't have that clock to say that it is at 15 pounds. So you let it, once it has a pressure, you let it pressure cook for 20 minutes. Release the pressure, then you would do the same thing as I'm doing here. You would just let it boil while you prepare the rest of your stuff. And if you have any questions, if I didn't explain something well enough, which I probably didn't because I'm brand new to this, don't hesitate to leave your questions or any comments below, and I will answer as best as I can. Now I'm going to take juice out for my gravy. So what I do, I just use this juice, and then I will add cornstarch to it to thicken it. It is nicely flavorful. If not, you could always also add more salt if you wanted to. I have some cornstarch here, some water, and I can't really tell you the measurements as I didn't really measure how much gravy I'm making. Also, I'm new to measuring because usually I just eyeball it. Just make sure it's cold water when you mix your cornstarch, and most of you probably know this, but make sure it's cold water, mix it well, and then you dump it in so it is nice and smooth, that you don't end up with any clumps in there. Just let it cook for like a minute and a half or 2 minutes. Once you have the cornstarch in, you turn the heat down, like I had it on high because I wanted it boiling. So you turn it down and just let it simmer. Let it simmer for, I don't know, whatever it takes. Like, give yourself enough time, especially if you're new at this. You need time when it comes to turkey, and it's better be safe than sorry. You don't want to be late. If you let it just sit and cook for a little while, that's quite alright, because it just, the more you cook it, the more flavor it gets. Okay, so I'm just gonna add a little bit of this browning and seasoning sauce. It just gives it a little extra flavor to the gravy. So that is a really consistency for the gravy. And as you can see here, there is the turkey. The moment we've been waiting for. Serve dinner now. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.